Hi, Simon. This is Sarmen Almond joining us at sonADA for sonADA ChillOut 2020. And I'm Francesco from sonADA. And thank you very much for making time today. And
Thank you.
Thank you. And also, we haven't seen you for about 4 years since you were last in Aberdeen for our 2016 festival. So first question is, how are you coping with what's been going on in Mexico?
Well, it's been very hard. I think we started after we started closing down. We closed in March, and I was reading news, and I thought you had like 2 months before us or something like that. And it's been very weird because now I feel like everybody's opening doors except us, but at the same time we are trying to open doors because we need to work mainly. It's been very hard, of course, with jobs, but also psychologically. It's been and also with my work that I work a lot with contact with people and opening the mouth. It's been very hard to be isolated here at home. I mean, I'm healthy, it's fine, but at the same time, I feel that the situation economically and emotionally, I've been working a little bit with psychosomatics, with voice, and I feel like everybody's a little bit scared and feeling like not trusting people to be in touch with the human beings. So it's been a bit weird for me.
Absolutely, and so just for the benefit of who's listening, what do you teach? Because you have students and vocal techniques.
I teach voice mainly to scenic artists. I work also with actors, actresses, musicians, singers, and dancers who want to use their voice for performances. I also work with traditional singing, but mainly with extended techniques and movement.
Yeah. So thank you very much. So basically, that side of things has been reduced to zero.
Zero. Yeah, well, I just started giving a really small workshop. I think it was a week and a half ago. But normally I do this with 15 people or so. And I had to divide, of course, the class in 3 different lessons, like the same lesson 3 times. So it's a little bit tiring as well. And also the studios have been closing, so I have to rent like a bigger space for few people, and not public transport. I always use my bicycle, but here in Mexico City, I think it feels different to cycle because of the situation with the cars, of course, with everybody. It's just a complicated city.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry.
Have you so apart from the financial side and kind of the human side, what's the biggest challenge? I mean, actually, no, you tell me about the challenges of the situation, but have you managed to keep working on things and projects and yourself?
Meditating and first I think I do meditation. I feel the first month I was doing nothing, not because you cannot do things in your computer and at home. It just felt very weird, and at the end of the day I communicate with a lot of people, friends here in Mexico but also around the world, and we decided to share our music, our sound. But also I feel we are really starving for having concerts with audience. I mean, I do concerts online and I have commissions. I mean, I've been surviving with also these things, doing music, audiovisual stuff. But at the same time, I feel the necessity to have the real human beings. But I feel it's just sitting and deciding that you want to share and you have something to share. And I am privileged because also I'm healthy, I have a roof, and it's like, okay, let's do things, but things in a different way, which doesn't feel perfect, but it's something. It's not the way I feel. I would like to be working the rest of my life. I feel it's part of it, because also there is a lot of advantages. Is that you realize that, I mean, you are here, but you can also touch people around the globe, you know. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I think this side of things is positive, but at the same time, we are not connected with all the senses.
Yeah.
And we're just watching the screens, and it's not my generation, but I can see with younger generations that are growing with this, and I don't know if they will have repercussions in their way of socializing or communicating with others.
Mm-hmm. So what have your students been doing, in terms of, like, obviously not seeing you for lessons of the different kind of types of students, but overall, have they been the ones that are at school, the kind of, or that are in education, let's say, have they been sort of filling that time with other things, or are they just sort of just transferring to online pretty much?
Pretty much transferring to online. And I mean, I also give them, of course, exercises at home, which is not very it's not the ideal thing, because they, again, no, I am opening them out, I cannot touch them to feel their breath. I think the main thing with voice is breathing, relaxation, stretching, sound, and the quality of the sound is not the same. But I just try to tell them all the time, you are athletes with the voice. You are an athlete, so you need to use your body. Go out, run, do something, stretch. And also, I am encouraging them to write about their experiences, and also what they are encountering through the voice, because it's this voice that is isolated, and sometimes they work with voice but nobody listens to them. So how does it feel to scream or to speak or to sing with nobody? Does it really exist, or it is only for you? It's like, do you exist only in reference to others? So it's weird.
It is, yeah. Plus, I mean, you mentioned the voice. They don't have, I mean, some people will have, a microphone and headphones, but maybe a lot of people will just have a computer at home with a little microphone.
Yeah, that's the tech
quality.
Yeah, the quality. Well, majority of people have now a computer, at least a tablet, but yeah, they don't have a microphone or or nothing. So they are listening through the computer speakers, which makes things hard. Yeah. I work a lot with mainly professionals or students that are after university trying to do to specialize in practice. But I can see, for example, in another type of education, mainly bachelor's or high school things. Especially in Mexico, a lot of people don't have resources. Maybe they have a computer, but they have not a stable connection with the internet. Yeah. So you are in a conference or in a class, and they cannot really follow it. I think we are trying we all that try to teach, to meet people now that we are trying to opening doors one-to-one, or to do the job again. And I feel it's a challenge also for the pedagogy and for teachers, mainly those who work at universities. I mean, I'm a freelancer and I'm moving all the time, but I feel you need to do the job twice. It doesn't matter. You can do it on the web and then go and meet the others, because if not, it's a lockdown that only gives education to a certain amount of people. No, I think we need to spread education and spread communication.
So when you finished your PhD, it's going back sort of 5 years, and then have you stayed sort of as a lecturer with Full Mouth, or has that relationship continued?
No, it's been, it has changed a lot. I don't know where you are now. I moved to Mexico 5 years ago, I think so, yeah. See, yes. And I started a PhD in Mexico City because I think, 6 years ago, our government changed, something happened there, that the resources were not available for a lot of the students. So the thing that I started in England, I had to quit because I didn't have money.
Right.
So I came back to Mexico and I started working. And then I had this opportunity to start a PhD in the INBA, Instituto Nacional de Bellas Artes, in the National Arts Institute. They accept me, and now I'm doing this PhD, and now I'm writing the thesis. I need to finish this. And I am planning I would like to go abroad again. I'm not sure if like permanently, because I started my project with Alquimia Vocal, which is vocal alchemy, which is like the brand that that involves all the pedagogic stuff. But I am also in contact with the Roy Hart International Center in France. We're working with like bigger workshops with my last teacher in choreographic theater, Roy Hart techniques, tradition. And I think I would like to maybe go back to Europe, but at the same time, I am very happy with the job that I'm trying to do in teaching here in Mexico and in Latin America. I feel it's necessary to, of course, go abroad and learn from others and teach in a different language and be in communication with all my friends and teachers, but also to give something to my country. Yeah. So I need to, of course, I will finish the PhD, but I like to be a freelancer.
And is your Start Moves project going to continue? Because that also had elements of distance or remote collaborations. So is that something that you'll continue?
Sorry, can you
your Start Moves project, is that something you'd like to continue with?
Yeah, this Start Moves, it changed and it became part of Alquimia Vocal, but yes, right. I am working in the distance with other artists, and of course I think it will continue. For example, this pandemic was hard because this year I feel I've been realizing that for everybody was a perfect year, and suddenly lockdown. And I was going to London to work with I was going to play with the Impro Orchestra in London.
Yes, Impro.
And then there's it's not a festival, it's like a big conference about the Fitzmaurice technique, which is a voice technique in New Zealand. Was going to be this year, and I was going there. So we are trying to keep going and keep working, and hopefully in 2020, I'm not 2021 next year. I'll be going to New Zealand, so again to Europe, but also being in touch with Mexico, and also we depend. I feel I'm talking about the artists and mainly those who work with music and voice, because nobody wants to see you opening your mouth, you know. We depend on the resources as well.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now Mexico is not giving a lot of resources for art, not only for music, but we have a new president since 2 years ago.
That's right.
So it was okay because it was the left wing, which I don't feel is very left now. But they are not supporting a lot arts really. But voila, we have to continue, and we are not going to stop. Yeah.
So resources have not been kind of coming to artists, you know, like different countries have had different ways of supporting people. Apply for funding for, you know, paying the rent, or for just like if you're self-employed, they might give you a a freeze on your bills for 3 months, or every country's tried different things to support people. So what kind of things have you been able to access as a PhD student and also as a self-employed?
Well, as a PhD student in the arts, in the Instituto Nacional de Bellas Artes, the National Institute, they don't give you anything, nothing.
Okay.
Like you don't have fundings. I work, and I'm a student at the same time. And for freelancers, especially, they haven't given support. The government hasn't given support. The government has open calls for artists to do like commissions, but mainly they are focused in the elder people.
Okay.
And people that for them have like low resources, but I feel there's a lack, a hole, in a gap. That's a word, the gap, in which all the freelancers appear, because you don't have social security. We don't have social security, health, nothing related with health. So it's like we are like floating and swimming in between, which is hard, but we all have been supportive among us, trying to share our links where people can pay for our music or give donations for independent house of art. For example, we were doing a concert, I think it was 3 weeks ago, in an independent space, which is really independent. The government, I don't think they don't even know this space exists, but it has existed for more than 10 years, like all the artists know it. So everybody gives donations. So I think we are a community that we're working as a community, I think, for the first time, which has been good. The pandemic has helped us to realize that we exist and that we need to help each other.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So it kind of like, because a lot of people feel fragile suddenly, who are not wealthy, and they're not considered poor enough to get any kind of support. You're kind of in between categories, and you don't really have, maybe you don't have like a salary as such. You have to make money come your way through different sources. So that is quite a fragile place, and a lot of people have suddenly felt how fragile the whole system is for the arts. Yeah. So yeah, it does kind of in the end, though, you have to look after yourself. As much as people will come together, then everybody has to find a way, and it does become a bit of a race to the bottom, trying to find money to live. So it's quite hard. Everybody trying to get to the same. Yeah.
But there's something positive I would like to add, that mainly from the head of the government, we are not being considered for some things, but I feel that inside, for example, the National Theatre, the university, or the CNA, which is the National Arts Center, they have really good people that are in positions that they are trying to find artists, and if they have money from the government, they are trying to find artists to do new compositions, or to do at least online festivals. And of course they cannot reach everybody, but I feel there's still good people in those positions that are trying to help, which has been also very good. But as a program, a Mexican program considers artists to give them money, we don't have that. But there's people that can help and have been thinking about that.
So in a way, that's a positive thing, and also the fact that that people come together and maybe thinking about doing things differently from now on. So try to change and make this work. Hasn't worked for everybody. So I guess people just want to hope to go back to what they were doing before, especially for like voice and workshops where you have that contact with people, or the theatre where you've got the public in front of you. But is there anything that's come out that you think, well, actually, if this happened again, hopefully not, but if something like this, like a new government that said, zero money to the arts or whatever, you know that there's an alternative way of doing things, rather than just trying to squeeze things into a box. It doesn't really work, but like really rethinking what a screen can do for artistic expression. So have you thought about how to do things in the future that might be different from what you were doing before?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. I think nothing will be the same. I don't believe in the normal state. I don't feel like the past was the normal. We were also very wrong in other things. I feel it's as I love, interdisciplinary things and the hybrid style, So I feel in the future, which is my present, I feel like the future. I'm not thinking the future. I'm thinking in the present, and I think we are doing different things. So we are doing different things, and also things in a different way. And we have realized that we are able to do those things. So I feel we have to take them and to use them. Of course, be through Zoom, be in communication with other countries. A lot of, for example, now I'm communicating with people around the world more than before.
Yeah.
And I feel like, is it good? Is it bad? I don't want another pandemic, of course, but mainly to put a tick and say, okay, this is good. Let's continue with this work. Let's continue with these collaborations. Let's continue with these plans that we can share, because we can share experiences, but also art and also languages. And, but I am also trying to encourage at least the people who I am in touch, students or colleagues, that we really are human beings, and we need contact. Yeah. And if we grow up with others that are younger than us, we need to tell them, you have flesh, you have bones, so it's like to grow with. And to grow with both sides, and us as I'm not elder, but a little bit older than them, to use all these technologies, communication, networking. I think both things are fine, but I am old school, so I really prefer to have people in real life.
And do you have any thoughts on like technology? Because there's not been a lot of preparation for this new normal. Schools, offices, theaters, cinemas. There've always been some innovation, but it's always been kind of on the side sometimes of life, with live performances, audiences actually physically being in spaces. So do you think that this is the time to get innovative, invest personally, or do you think we're really never going to make it, so that everything that we did is possible on a screen or remotely? Should we want to? It feels like, kind of what I'm trying to say is, do you think we're just being forced into kind of trying to make changes quickly, but the technology is not quite there to make it a real experience, a full experience, if you like?
Mm-hmm. I mean, yes, we have been forced to use this kind of media, but at the same time, I feel globally we have the technology. I mean, but globally not everybody have the resources to use that technology. Yeah. Because we have virtual reality since long. I mean, many years ago, we also have these, concerts through Skype. You know, 2010 we used to use these. We have been working with. I've been talking about music, maybe with the sensors, programming. I mean, these kind of technologies they are available, but only for a few. For a few people. I think the problem here is that not everybody have the resources, and that is a challenge for everybody, because I feel okay. I am very lucky because I have my computer and I have a sound interface. I mean, this is my work, of course. I have my sound interface, my data, but and also my parents, they have a computer, but. You drive, well, I don't have a car, you cycle or 2 hours or drive an hour, and you go with communities that they have nothing. So that is a real challenge, I think, to bring this technology to those communities.
Yeah.
And for us, I think that's a good time for investing in better quality of interfaces in microphones, and also in learning new things. I've been working with visuals. I'm not a programmer, but I love processing, for example, and I feel I've been doing like videos. For example, I'm doing a video for in 2 weeks, and which is. I mean, it's a composition that I've been thinking about, a metaphor for black holes compared to the mouth. I said our mouth is a black hole, and everything goes and everything comes in. Everything is possible, and these black holes are muted. So I'm doing this piece, and I am using visuals. So it's like, okay, Sarmen. You have this in your mind, and these things are not going to be projected in your body. You know, it's like in a performance, how to put this on a screen. So it's a good time for investing in my own education as well. But we are, I would say, I mean, we are professionals. We have again, a house, jobs, even if they are not many jobs, you know. But the challenge, again, I feel, is to go with the people that they don't even have resources for eating.
Yeah.
You know. So for me, that's the most important, because on TV and news, they can give you images that are happening in Cambridge or in the universities. And I mean, even us, we are talking here in our houses. Yeah. But we don't realize that there are people that they have nothing. So what is going to happen with those that are not communicative?
That's right. Yeah. So like, it's almost going back to people who couldn't read or write, didn't have access to books, and the village or the town sort of teachers and people who had skills to read and write, they had the power. And now it's like, if you don't have a computer, internet that's fast enough to upload videos, to share, you're kind of like, you're out of history. You're written out of culture or lots of things where if you have the money to buy it. So it's like we need to democratize technology. You can't really do banking in a lot of places without a computer or a phone, because going to the bank is almost like, they're closing down banks, and so they're pushing people online. But if you don't have that technology, basically it's like a basic right to be able to manage your money. You can't do that. So suddenly what was the privilege or an add-on is so important, as you say now, and some people are cut out. So what investment is there for them? So you feel like if you're educated and you can kind of fight for those things, apply for funding and find ways to get that to you. But for those people, who's going to invest for them, for their future? That's really important. So I guess education is going to have to rethink what digital means. It's not just an add-on. It's really, it's been the bread and butter of classes, for school children to be connected with the teachers. And some schools had nothing, so they're like at home, they're not seeing people, they're not learning for 4 or 5 months. You're right. It's going to be the future, like investing in that.
I try to think or to call it like a technological investment. Maybe it's a human investment.
Yeah.
We need to invest for humans with our own humanity. Okay, you have an hour, so before we have, I don't know, if you have time, maybe everybody should, or we all, because we are very selfish sometimes. And okay, I don't have money. I need to apply for this funding. I'm working. Why not to think? Okay, I have an hour of my time. One day, let's go out. And it's not about teaching music, but it's also about talking to people.
Yeah.
And now now that I'm working with this doctor, he's a doctor in psychosomatics, and I'm linking this with voice. He shares a lot that he's been having a lot of patients, and that he's incredible how this period of these months have been very hard for people. They are like feeling anxious. They have more problems. And it is not about just going to the doctor, because he also tells me that in psychology and in psychosomatics, they work with the voice, maybe not singing, but through voice, you give therapy.
Yeah.
And that's very interesting. It's just the necessity of talking and to be heard. And I feel we need to invest in other humans, in experiences.
Yeah.
Invest our time in sharing our time.
Which brings me to neatly to say thank you for sharing your time.
Sorry, I speak a lot.
No, not at all. I'm going to finish here, unless you have anything else you wanted to share.
No, maybe just to thank you. Of course, I'm young that sent me the email. I hope everybody's happy and healthy.
Yep,
in Aberdeen, and I hope to see you one day.
Yeah,
again.
Yeah. So
not through Zoom.
Exactly. Well, thanks very much again, and really
Thank
all
you,
the best with
Francesco.
all your projects.
Thank you. The same for you.
Thanks. Bye, Sarmen.
Ciao.
Ciao.